gentlemen, people, welcome to United View and welcome to the preview for the big one, the derby, the Manchester derby, obviously against Manchester City on Sunday. I've got the pleasure of having Natalie Pike, BBC Radio Manchester presenter and Manchester City fan. How you doing, Nat?
Hey, mate. Yeah, I'm really good. Thank you. How are you?
Yes, nervous because this is a massive test for our team, our new manager. It's his first big, massive away game against the top six and obviously against our derby rivals in you guys. Let's start off, obviously, from a Man City perspective. I've got to start at Haaland. Obviously, you spend a lot of time around the players and you did the interview with Haaland when he came, and I know you spent a lot of time around there. Can we stop him? Is that what this is about? Manchester United needing to stop Erling Haaland. I feel kind of silly asking you that because I think I know what your answer might be.
But I hope you and your manager think that the answer is stopping Erling Haaland, because then you put all of your tactics and your thought into that, and you'll leave the rest of our players wide open.
Yeah, exactly, which you can't do.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard a few people this week saying, Bournemouth were the only team this season so far to stop Erling Haaland, but in that game we scored 4 goals. So that is, I don't necessarily think that is your answer. But
no.
I mean, he's phenomenal, isn't he? He's an absolute machine. He doesn't even need a clear-cut chance. He needs half a chance. I mean, did you see the goal where it was like a cross and he jumped up higher than like over most people's heads, and he was able to get his foot on it and score like the Cruyff style goal. He doesn't need it.
Was that the Dortmund one, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the one. Yeah, he doesn't need a full chance. Like he's insane. And yeah, I did his first interview when he came to City when we did a welcome event for him, and I asked him what club was he most looking forward to playing against. And obviously he said Manchester United because, he's a City fan. He's grown up a City fan. So I imagine, for all footballers, they dream of playing in their local derby. Yeah,
exactly. And when we was on tour, I'll let you know, Jadon Sancho was asked live on stage who his biggest game is. And obviously coming through the City Academy as well as Watford. He said Manchester City and everyone gave a big roar. He did say that. So he's got something cooking ready for the Etihad.
Oh, yeah, he's got something to prove, hasn't he? Because is he still thinking about England?
Yeah, exactly. Didn't get into the England team, and has been playing quite well for us. In terms of from the Manchester United's perspective, how you see it as a City fan, this is a fixture that obviously you've been better than us for a long time now in the modern era. But with this game, especially even when we had even Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, we've got a decent record at the Etihad, and we can play on the counter-attack. We know how to sit back and absorb, and we're better at the back now. Erik ten Hag knows his best back four, which is bred confidence. Christian Eriksen's playing really well. I'll talk about us a little bit more, but from your perspective, is there anything that worries you about this game? Like where you look at Manchester United and feel this could be a banana skin for you guys, or do you still feel, no, I think we're confident, it's business as usual?
I mean, obviously, and you'll know it from, I'm saying this, you'll know it from back in the time when you were good, that you go into every game feeling confident, but you're always kind of wary of not verging into that arrogant side. And it's, confidence no matter who we're playing, because I know how good we are. But obviously, a Manchester derby, everything is different, and you do have a great record coming to our place. Obviously, not last season, your worst season ever when, but in both games, we were, clearly superior. But when it does come to a derby, anything can happen. I mean, in terms of you guys, I would say, is there any update on Marcus Rashford yet? Do you know if?
Well, this is the thing that really worries me. At the time of recording, obviously, the press conferences have not been done yet, but there has been reports in the media that there is no Marcus Rashford and there is no Martial, and we were going to have to potentially start Cristiano Ronaldo up front, which Ten Hag has opted not to do, especially in these games where we need to play on the counter-attack. So there's this and ahhing right now between Manchester United fans of, Is that a hindrance that Ronaldo's going to start? Will Ten Hag opt to put maybe Jadon Sancho as a false nine, bring in Elanga because he can run, etc., etc.? I mean, hearing that news there, I mean, there's big smiles there. I mean, how do you feel with the fact that Marcus Rashford may potentially be missing from this game as a City fan?
My big smile is the fact that Manchester United fans are now like, oh gosh, we might have to play Cristiano Ronaldo. Like, how different is that from a year ago? Marcus Rashford, I think, obviously he's had his troubles in the last couple of years on the pitch, but in the last few games, he definitely looks like, much more, himself. Was it the Liverpool game that he scored that great goal where he brought it in from quite far? It was
and Arsenal, he scored 2 against.
So he's looking much more like, getting back to those confidence levels. So I would prefer it if he didn't play. Having said that, I don't mind. I genuinely believe on our best day, we can beat the best of anybody in the world. I didn't see your game I didn't see a lot of the Arsenal game when Anthony started, so I don't really know how you're feeling about him. Is he expected to start?
I'm pretty sure he will start, nailed on to start, in my opinion. I think we're waiting for him to go up the gears. This is his 3rd game. I mean, in that Arsenal game, obviously got a goal in his debut, which was fantastic. Since then, he's just been okay, trying to just get a feel for things. I think midfield's going to be really important in this game because Eriksen has just been absolutely instrumental for us. He's just got Player of the Month. He's so important to the way that we're playing now, and we got him on a free, which is incredible. And he's just been so instrumental. And I think in transition, if we're going to try and hurt City in transition, because you will obviously dominate possession, etc., we're going to have to win that ball back. And once we do, Christian Eriksen's going to be instrumental in trying to find Bruno in the half spaces or playing through balls from deep and stuff like that with willing runners. So he's important. There's a McTominay-Casemiro situation where Casemiro's come in and hasn't been able to start in the Premier League as of yet because McTominay's been playing so well, which hasn't always been the case.
McTominay, which you might not.
I didn't know that.
He's just had the most phenomenal international break for Scotland. It pains me how well he's played because it's like, what it's like kind of like, I imagine you might feel it for City fans in the England team, City players in the England team, but I'm like cheering for McTominay and then feeling a bit dirty. But he's had an insane international, so he's going to come back to you like really full of
and he's been really good. So in the midfield, I mean, obviously being up against Rodri, De Bruyne, and one of obviously Bernardo Silva or Gundogan, whoever Pep goes with, it's going to be tough no matter what combinations in there. And we've got to be really good and aggressive. And I'm interested to see Martinez and Varane how they deal with Erling Haaland, because like you said, he could go quiet and not even touch the ball for 84 minutes, and in the 85th minute he scores, and then the 88th minute he gets another and he gets all the headlines. That is how it is from a City perspective. In terms of lineups, Jack Grealish has got a lot of criticism recently, trying to get into his groove, and he's always in there. And how do you think Pep goes in terms of that front three? Well, we know Haaland will start, but in terms of the wingers, whether it be Mahrez, Foden...
I think Grealish will start. I think, arguably, when we played you last season, I forget if it was the home or the away.
At home, he was good.
It's probably his best game of the season. He's not at his best. We've heard him say in interviews this week that he's not at his best. But I think a lot of the criticism towards Jack Grealish just comes from the price tag and the fact that he's English and the fact that he's a good-looking party boy, essentially. And it just brings a lot of jealousy and a lot of hatred towards him. I don't think he's been nearly as bad as what people would have you making out. For someone that watches City has watched every single game he's played for City. I actually think he's been okay, and in some games he's been really good. Like I say, in that United game, he's being forced to play completely different to he did at Aston Villa. He's being forced to play in a role for City that often slows the game down. So he'll get the ball and he'll take a step, he'll take a minute, and he'll have a look around, or he'll move with the ball, as opposed to that sort of fast ticky-tacky football that we're often renowned for. And I know a lot of people don't like the fact that he slows the game down. I know a lot of City fans don't like the fact that he slows the game down, but for me that's a really important aspect of his job for us, because sometimes we do just need to slow down just a little bit. So I think Grealish starts, and I think Foden starts, and I think it's Erling.
What do you think will happen in midfield?
So it's going to be Kevin De Bruyne, and obviously Kevin De Bruyne absolutely thrives in a game like this. Loves playing against you, loves playing against Liverpool, Chelsea, like the big games. City thrive.
That's playing against everyone.
Yeah, I really thought, this is a good point. I would, and then after that, I mean, obviously Rodri, one of the first names on the team sheet solidly. Rodri is one of the most underrated players in the Premier League.
He's top draw
unbelievable. And then Kevin, and then it's we've got.
What would you do? What would Natalie do? If you was picking that team, would you go Bernardo?
Because, again, Bernardo Silva for me is a player that gets it. He understands what the derby is. He understands the rivalry. He understands, really. He seems to get what the game means, and I think that's important in a derby game. He'll enjoy the atmosphere. He'll really soak it all up. I would definitely play Bernardo, and then. I don't know. Like, obviously, Ilkay Gundogan's just been a insane leader and insane player for us for years and years, and again, goes quite underrated as well. So, I'm not sure. I'm going to reserve my final position.
Okay. Fair play. And to finish off before we get into our quick fire round, which we'll get into in a sec. Are there any injury concerns? I know John Stones went down, hamstring injury potentially during the England duty. Are there any other injuries that you're expecting?
No, just Stones, which would have been a real problem for us had we not signed Akanji.
Akanji, he looks good as well.
Oh my God, he has been insane. So he started the 3 games that he's been available for, played all 3 of them. We've conceded 1 goal in those 3 games. He went to Switzerland on the international break, got his first ever international goal and an assist. He was like 15 or 17 million. What a bargain. Solid, looks like an absolute pet player. Like it's like you couldn't if you handpicked all the qualities you need in a pet defender, he's got them. So the fact that Stones is injured and I'm not worried just shows you how good he's been.
Yeah. It's all nice there, isn't it? Oh, lovely. Yeah. It's all nice. That's the thing. You talk to Manchester City fans about stuff that's going on, and you're right. Why would you ever moan about anything? Any decision that gets made, the belief you have in the manager and everything, it hurts. But the time has come. We have got to get into it. This is our quick fire round. Let's see how Natalie fares. How many goals will Erling Haaland score this season?
I think he's going to get 40 goals in all competitions. Hoping that we go far in all the cups and in the Champions League. That is 60-something games for the man to score 40 goals in. Obviously, if he stays fit as well for the whole season, that will play a part of it. But I think we'll see him breaking some records.
What one player would you take from Manchester United?
What one player would... Flex. I'm not sure I'm going to take any. I mean, maybe Christian Eriksen, maybe just because he seems like a really nice guy. But seriously, no. I don't think any of your players are getting in our starting 11.
Even for the bench? Anything? Just in the squad?
Even for the bench.
Wouldn't take Bruno Fernandes on the bench?
Right, yeah. I mean, because he could be Portuguese.
Eriksen.
We'll take Bruno. I don't like his attitude though. I think Pep would have to kind of sort him out. But at least he'd have Portuguese friends.
Oh my goodness. Can Manchester City win the treble?
Yes.
The actual treble.
Manchester City could win the treble in terms of our squad is good enough to win all the competitions. Will we win the treble? No, because I think it's a feat that is beyond anybody these days.
Will Manchester City win the Champions League this season?
Oh God, I hope so. I don't know. I've got no idea, but oh God, I hope so.
Who was a better captain, Vincent Kompany or Roy Keane?
Oh, that's a great question. I think they're 2 of the most elite captains that the Premier League has ever seen. I have to stick with my boy Vincent Kompany because he was such an incredible part of the transition of Manchester City from the old to the new. Such an incredible leader, and I was lucky enough to have met him and to have interviewed and to have seen him privately, the way that he dealt and spoke to people. And when he left the club, I know that he went round everybody, speaking to them individually, and he knew everybody's names. And he came up to me and he said, "Thank you, Natalie." So I think, in terms of a leader, he was first class.
Would Cristiano Ronaldo have been a success at Manchester City?
I think he would have been a success at City. And he's a phenomenally talented player, and we are a world-class team. So yeah, I think he would have been a success. Another day, Flex, I'll ask you back: was he a success at United? But I think a deeper conversation.
Last season he wasn't too bad. What would you rather win this season, the Premier League or
Champions League? Champions League, mate. We have to win the Champions League just to get you all to stop talking about it.
Is Kevin De Bruyne the best Premier League midfielder ever?
Oh, is Kevin De Bruyne the best ever? I don't know. I never like questions like this because I feel like I've definitely got a lot of recency bias. Obviously I didn't watch the Premier League a lot when I was growing up because we weren't in it. But I mean, he's definitely in the top 2 or 3, isn't he? And by the time he retires, he could be.
Okay, and lastly, is Pep Guardiola a better manager than Sir Alex Ferguson?
Sir Alex Ferguson is the greatest of all time. I'm not going to come on and diss Sir Alex Ferguson. Again, by the time Pep retires, I think we might be saying that Pep is the greatest of all time.
What a quick fire round that is. Wouldn't even take a play. Guys, let that sink in. She wouldn't even take any of our players on the bench. Not even on the bench. That is
yeah.
Maybe, incredible.
It's true though. It hurts because it's true.
Yeah. I would, Christian Eriksen in your squad, wouldn't mind that. You could do all right with him, but yeah, I get where you're coming from. Varane wouldn't want, Champions League Varane in there. With Diaz, that would look all right.
5 centre-backs already. We don't need another.
All right. Prediction time, Natalie. It's all been said and done. You've broken it down. We've spoken about Manchester City. I've spoken about Manchester United. You've done a quick fire round. What is your prediction for this game?
I think that we will win 3-1. That is my prediction. But mate, it could go wild. It could go 6-2. It could go 5-3. The score could be wild. But
hang on a minute. Man United could win as well. We can win.
Look, it's a derby. It could. Stranger things have happened. It could. But I think City will win 3-1.
Okay, I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw.
Okay.
I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw. I think we can get something out of the game, but like you said, equally, anything can happen. I just think it's important from the Manchester United side that win, lose or draw, we keep it in perspective. We dissect the 90 minutes and we move on quickly. Obviously, a win at the Etihad would be would be amazing for this team, and against. I don't want to say against all odds, but certainly not many people are predicting that. But it would be amazing for us.
It's a derby.
Exactly, but it's a derby and anything can happen. Listen, Natalie, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. Thank you for being so honest and refreshing. Really, really appreciate that. And may the best team win on the day. No controversial refereeing decision or anything. Just be a shootout between the teams.
I don't want to be talking about no VAR and no referees at the end of it. Yes, the best team win.
Exactly. Guys, remember, you smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. We have been nominated for 3 awards in the Football Content Awards. The voting finishes on the 9th of October, so get your votes in and everything will be taken care of. And hopefully we can win something and bring something home for you guys. We'll be back soon with another video. Take care. Peace.